Hello students, a very good morning. So students, in last class we have discussed about the surface tension and the numerical problem in on that one. Also along with the surface tension for the surface energy we have calculated we have just solved some problems. Now today let's move again further in the topic, as number of topics subtopics are there in the chapter, and even in the hydrostatic and hydrodynamics number of subtopics are there. So for every topic there are conceptual problem, numerical problem that you have to just read very carefully, you have to understand carefully. Now let's again discuss the next topic, that is excess pressure and capillary action. So these two topics are also important, and as excess pressure, you know, whenever we have curved surface, then that time the due to the direction of the surface tension, excess pressure is obtained. Just like we can have three types of surfaces for the liquid, or three types of meniscus, means whenever we are filling the liquid in any vessel, then that time it is taking the shape, but the upper surface film, if you will see for the liquid, that will have different shapes. So if this has planar shape, or the liquid has this kind of shape, or this kind of shape. So these are now the three shapes that are possible whenever liquid is filled in any of the tube or any container. So for this, then, if, as we know, the surface tension that acts tangentially. So if it is acting tangentially, so this will be the tangential direction, means the surface, if we will draw the tangent on this one, that will represent surface tension. Now as these two are direction of surface tension, so as this is only working horizontally, they will cancel out each other, then no net pressure will be applicable on the liquid in this case. But whenever we have the curved surfaces, this kind of curved surface, then that time, if we will see the direction of surface tension in tangential way, then these are now the direction of the surface tension here. So we cannot have two component of these surface tension, horizontal component and vertical component. So the horizontal component of surface tension, that will cancel out, but the vertical component of the surface tension, you will see that is acting now in downward direction for both of them. So it means now a net downward force will act here, and that downward force, in opposition of that one, there will be you can say upward directional force, and that will create the pressure on the liquid surface. So this is now known as excess pressure. Next one, for this kind of also surfaces, you can see this is now the direction of surface tension. This is also, for this one we will get two components, horizontal and vertical component. So a net here upward force is acting, and due to that excess pressure we will get. So whenever we will have only curved surfaces, then excess pressure concept obtain, otherwise we will not obtain excess pressure concept. Next, for this one, as up to now we have seen, if any of the substance that is interacting with any other substance in the terms of cohesive and adhesive forces, but later concept again we have read in while discussing the chapter, that was angle of contact. So angle of contact, if it is obtuse or acute, that is giving us the information about whether the liquid will be sprayed on the surface on which it is going to pour or not. So that we can easily understand. And if angle is obviously obtuse, means angle is greater than 90 degree, then that time it will not wet the surface. But if a contact angle is less than 90 degree, then that time it will wet the surface. So this is our concept of angle of contact. Then after excess pressure and angle of contact, the next concept we have studied, that was the concept for capillary action. So capillary action is what? Due to the curved surface, the excess pressure that is generated, due to that one, the liquid will have either a rising property or falling property, because if curved surface, two types of curved surfaces just now we have seen. In one of the curved surface, net force is acting in downward direction, and in one it is acting in upward direction. So if the meniscus of the liquid, means if we have any tube, and in that tube the upper part of the liquid is in this type of curve, then that time a net upward force will act here. Due to that one, the liquid will start to rise in this tube. So that rising in the tube is known as capillary action. Or if we have meniscus of this shape, then that time this liquid will feel a force in downward direction due to excess pressure, so it will start to fall just to maintain its pressure there. So this is now the reason of falling or rising of the liquid through any of the capillary tube, that is completely depending on the curved surface or the meniscus that is formed. And this fine tube that we are seeing, that's length is very longer in comparison to the its breadth, and that is known as capillary tube. So the number of examples, natural examples of capillary tubes are like capillary axon, that is helping to just send the water in all parts of the trees or plants. Second one, like in soil, there is capillary tubes. Then due to that one, whenever there are waters, then that is soaked by the soil easily. So and also when we are using towel, then that time easily towel can soak the water from our body due through the capillary access. So number of examples are there for the capillary access. So let's solve some now conceptual problem, and let's end our concept of first of all hydrostatic with these one, and after that we will start hydrodynamic with the concept of viscosity first. So in the case of access pressure and capillary action, the first conceptual question we have: water is depressed in a glass tube whose inner surface is coated with paraffin wax. Why? So if any of the glass tube that is coated with paraffin wax, then we are seeing the water starts to depress in that type of glass tube. So what is the reason behind that? Then first of all, whenever the water surface that is coated with the paraffin wax, then as paraffin wax cohesive force is much greater than that of adhesive force between wax and water molecules. And due to that, paraffin wax is not weighting the glass rod, so it means that the cohesive forces are here greater. And we can also say the angle of contact, that is theta here, that will be obtuse angle. So if theta is now greater than 90 degree, then that time the rising accent formula that we have, H is equal to 2s cos theta upon r rho z. Yes, where this r is the radius of the capillary tube, h is the height or rise or fall up to which height, s is surface tension, theta is here now this angle of contact. So for theta greater than 90 degree, obviously this cos theta will be negative for this. So if cos theta is negative, it means that h will be negative, and h will be negative, it is simply indicating that the water will fall in this type of glass tube that is coated with the paraffin wax. So this is now the reason why this kind of coating is just responsible for the falling of the liquid through the glass tube, even normally when water is not showing this kind of property. Second question after this is: why does an iron needle float on clean water but sink when detergent is added to the water? So as this question can be understood by number of ways. With the help of surface tension, we will understand. Then this is as we know, whenever there are impurities added in any liquid, then that time the liquid's surface tension is depending on the contaminations of that impurities. So if impurity is purely, you can say, soluble in that liquid, then that time surface tension increases. But if it is springly soluble, then that time surface tension starts to decrease. So in this case, as a detergent is springly soluble, then that time surface tension of water decreases here due to addition of detergent. And when surface tension starts to decrease, then as before adding anything for the clean water, the surface tension that is acting in upward direction, and that was balancing the weight of the iron needle, and because of that iron needle was able to float on the clean water. But whenever we have added now detergent, surface tension's value is decreased, means upward directional force is decreased now. So a net force will start to act in downward direction, that will make sink of the iron needle. So this is the reason why iron needles start to sink there. Next question: is it better to wash clothes in hot soap solution? And if yes, then why? So as whenever we are increasing temperature, then surface tension starts to change. So with increase in temperature, as intermolecular separation between molecules that increases also, and due to increase in intermolecular separation, cohesive force decreases, and because of all that, surface tension starts to decrease with increase in temperature. So as if surface tension will decrease, then we can apply it to the greater area. So here easily the clothes can be washed with the hot soap solution. So this was the now some of the conceptual question based on the access pressure now. So let's solve some here numerical problem after this conceptual problem. So first question we have, what will be the total pressure inside a spherical air bubble of radius 0.2 mm at a depth of 2 meter below the surface of a liquid of density 1.1 gram per centimeter cube and surface tension 50 dyne per centimeter. It is given atmospheric pressure is 1.1 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. So first let's write the data that is given in question. After that again I will just explain the question. So here in our question, first of all it is written there is an air bubble that has radius, suppose small r is the radius, that is 0.2 mm. Then it is given that this air bubble is at the depth of 2 meter below. So suppose h is given, that is 2 meter. And the surface of a liquid that is having density, so density of the liquid is given 1.1 gram per centimeter cube, and surface tension for that liquid it is given 50 dyne per centimeters. Next, atmospheric pressure is given, this is 1.01 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. So these are now the information in our question, and the question is asked what will be the total pressure inside the spherical air bubble. So as here first we know that this question is actually combination of three topics. The first one, as on the surface of the liquid the pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure. Now if we will add the concept of gauge pressure, that is the variation of pressure with depth, that is whenever we are going below to the surface of the liquid, then that time pressure starts to increase by the amount h rho z. So here also, as our air bubble is at the depth of 2 meter below the liquid surface, then it will feel extra pressure h rho z. So it means that pressure at the point where the air bubble is existing, the first one it will have the pressure Pa plus h rho c here. So this is the first thing. But along with that, as we know, due to the air bubble and due to its surface tension, it is having additional excess pressure due to its curved surface, that is the spherical surface. So that excess pressure is also applied here. So the net pressure that will be inside the liquid drop or air bubble, sorry, that will be equal to now Pa plus h rho z, then plus here excess pressure that is for the air bubble is 2s upon r here. So as air bubble has only one surface, then it will have, this is now the excess pressure. Now let's calculate here this value. So for first of all, if Pa will we will write directly, that is 1.01 into 10 to the power 5 here, then plus h has value 2 meter, rho it is now 1.1 gram per centimeter cube. We can also convert it into just kg per meter cube. So let's convert that also here. So if we will convert, it is having the value 1.1 into 10 to the power now 3 kg per meter cube. Then into here z, that will be 9.8 plus 2 times s, that we have 50 dyne per centimeter. Now let's convert it also in the terms of SI units, that is Newton per meter here. So if we will convert it, it is obtained as 50 into 10 to the power minus 3 Newton per meter. Now upon R is 0.2 mm, so it will be 0.2 into 10 to the power minus 3. Finally, now we have used the data and concept. Now we have to only calculate these data that is given here. So if you will calculate it all, then its value is obtained as 1.22 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. So this is answer for our question. This is now the total pressure inside any air bubble. So if suppose in this question we will only reduce one point, that is we don't have any kind of air bubble, only a point at which we have to calculate pressure, then that time this concept will not arise here, because that point doesn't have any kind of a spherical shape or any kind of curved surface. But whenever we have any curved surface like the bubble we have, water bubble, air bubble, then that time this excess pressure concept will also apply here. So we will have the total pressure, that is absolute pressure at any point, that will be equal to this value. Now next question after this, again we have the lower end of a capillary tube of diameter 2 mm is dipped 8 cm below the surface of water in beaker. So what is the pressure required in the tube in order to blow a hemispherical bubble at its end in water? So the surface tension of water at temperature of the experiment is 7.3 into 10 to the power minus 2 Newton per meter, and 1 atmospheric pressure is given 1.01 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. Density of water we know that already, that is 10 power 3 kg per meter cube, and G has given 9.8 meter per second square. So we have to calculate excess pressure also in this question along with the absolute pressure. So this question is again as the same as we have calculated just now. So first let's again write the data for this question. So the first thing is given a capillary tube that has diameter now 2 mm. So we can calculate the radius of the tube, that is here 1 mm. Next thing, it is dipped 8 cm below the surface of water in a beaker. So it means that depth is given here, that is 8 cm, and also you can convert it into meter here. Now the third term it is given here, surface tension of water, that is S is equal to 7.3 into 10 to the power minus 2 Newton per meter. Now 1 atmospheric pressure, that is PA, is given 1.01 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. The next thing is given density of water, that is obviously 10 power 3 kg per meter cube, and G has value it is given. So let's calculate first of all the absolute pressure at the depth of 8 cm below the surface of water. So again at that point pressure will be equal to atmospheric pressure plus pressure variation due to this depth H rho Z, then plus excess pressure inside that here bubble. So that is now 2S by R gain. So now again put the all values that is given here, and then after putting it, if you will calculate the value of P, it is obtained as 1.02 into 10 to the power 5 Pascal. So it is the pressure of the pit, that is not varying much here. Next one, excess of pressure, that is we have to calculate. So excess pressure is obviously that is equal to 2S by R. So if we will put the value of S here, that is 7.3 into 10 to the power minus 2, and upon the value of R we have, that is 1 into 10 to the power minus 3, and if we will solve it, its value is obtained as 146 Pascal from here. So this is now the excess pressure that is obtained in this case. That is a hemispherical bubble we have. Now after this let's solve some problem based on the capillary action also. So first question for this one, we have liquid rises to a height of 5 cm in a capillary tube and mercury falls to a depth of 2 cm in the same capillary tube. So if the density of liquid is 1.2 gram per centimeter cube, of mercury is 13.6 gram per centimeter cube, and angles of contact of liquid and mercury with the capillary tubes are 0 degree Celsius and 0 degree and here 135 degree respectively. So find the ratio of surface tension for mercury and liquid here. So as we have taken a capillary tube, and that capillary tube is acted for now two liquids, that is one of the liquid we have taken and one of the mercury as a liquid we have taken. So for first liquid there is the rise in the capillary tube, but for the second, that is mercury, there is fall in the capillary tube. So we have to find out the ratio of their surface tension. So let's find out here, and before finding out, let's write down the data. So for the liquid here, it is given that it is rising up to a height 5 centimeter. So suppose it is now H1, this is given 5 centimeter. The second one here thing it is given, that is angle of contact for this, that is 0 degree is given, and now the density for that liquid is given 1.2 gram per cubic centimeter. Similarly for mercury, let's write down. So for mercury, the fall in the height it is given 2 centimeter. Now the next thing is given here, theta 2 is given, that is here 135 degree, and density of mercury it is given 13.6 gram per centimeter. And here to differentiate whether the rise or fall we have, so we have just given negative sign to the fall of the liquid. So now again as we know the accent formula, that is given by H is equal to 2s cos theta upon r rho to z from here. So let's use that one, and from here we can calculate S. So S will have value, that is surface tension H r rho z upon 2 of cos theta from here. So for the first one, for liquid and for mercury, if we will compare the surface tensions of both, then this formula is obtained as here H1 R1 rho 1 G and upon 2 times cos theta 1 and divided by, and here one more thing, as the capillary tube is same, so this will be R is same for both. Now next one, this is H2R rho 2 into Z divided by 2 times cos of theta 2. So from here R will be cancelled out, Z is cancelled out, 2 is cancelled out. So we will get only some of the options from here. Let's write down that one. So I am just going to write it here. So it is obtained now Sl upon S of mercury. This is H1 upon H2 into rho 1 upon rho 2 into from here cos of theta 2 upon cos of theta 1. So let's solve this one. H1 upon S2 if we will do, so that is 5 by 2 from here. Rho 1 upon rho 2, that is 1.2 upon 13.6. Now cos theta 2, that is cos 135, and cos theta 1, that is cos 0. So cos 135, that will have value minus 1 by root 2. So 1 minus sign we will get here, 1 here, that will be plus sign. So finally we will get after solution, this is 1 by root 2 here, and also we can put the value of this will be 1 upon root 2, and this is cos 0, that is 1. Now we have to solve only this whole thing. After solving this one, we will find out the value of this whole term, that is 1 point now, or directly if I will write the value for this whole term, and it is given for the value, that is S of mercury to the S of liquid, and in calculation you can do by yourself. Just calculate it by yourself, and S of mercury to the S of liquid, it is obtained as 6.41 for our answer here. So this is now the ratio of surface tensions we have got from by using the concept of the accent formula. So accent formula helps not only to understand the capillary action as well as to know about the liquids by comparing it by the any other one. So if we know from here the surface tension of any one, then second one can be easily calculated. So this is very easy thing. Now let's solve the other question for this one in next class, and also we will move further for the hydrodynamics. So thank you students for today.